Today on Here for the Right Reasons, Clayton Echard slams rumors he cheated on Susie Evans.
I can't believe I'm addressing this. This is ridiculous.
Plus, Michelle and Nayte give us an update on their wedding plans.
One thing that we both can't imagine is having a small wedding, and so we want to make sure that we're completely clear of that, so that's not even a stressor for us.
And Hannah Brown talks Susie comparisons and gives advice to contestants going into the fantasy suites.
I think you just got to follow, and trust yourself and make those decisions and, be able to own whatever you do and know that you're probably going to make some mistakes.
And finally, Joe and Serena react to Bachelor in Paradise's big return.
Oh, I think you're going to see a lot of the guys from Michelle's season. I'm sure you're going to see the likes of an Andrew.
We got that plus so much more on today's Here for the Right Reasons. Hey guys, Christina Garibaldi here with Us Weekly Senior Editor Sarah Heron, and welcome to another big week of Bachelor news on Here for the Right Reasons. Lots to get to this week, Sarah.
There is a lot to get to. We have a lot of fun interviews, and there was crazy doppelganger cheating drama that I've been itching to talk about.
Oh my God. So there's so much drama with this. But before we get into all that, we have to get to what you guys were talking about from last week's show. And it definitely got a lot of people talking, right?
Yes, I think this was when we were talking about whether Blake Moyne should go back to Paradise. And our girl Teresa is not for that. She says, please, no more Blake M. He had his shot with 3 Bachelorettes, which is a fair point. Fair point.
It is a fair point. And Teresa, I have to agree with you. I think I'm a little Blake Moyne's out, but something tells me he'll probably be in Paradise though, but we'll have to wait and see. All right. So next one goes to Deborah talking about Ari Lyondike's fake pregnancy jokes. She said, when you have a vasectomy, you still have to use backup for a certain time period until you can confirm sterility. So Ari might have been freaked out that his vasectomy didn't work. That is true. So we will give Ari the benefit of the doubt on this one.
Wow, the more you know, the show is teaching me about science.
Yes, thank you. All right, well, let's get into our news of the week. And like Sarah said, she's itching to talk about this one. So Clayton shut down rumors that he cheated on girlfriend Susie Evans. So this is a very complicated, complex story. So a TikTok user alleged that she hooked up with the former Bachelor after meeting at a bar in New York City. While she initially did not name that Clayton was the casual hookup, she later admitted in the comments that it was him. Well, he took to Instagram shortly after and shot those rumors down. So take a look at this.
I can't believe I'm addressing this. This is ridiculous, but let's just make this as easy as possible. Coming here to my settings, system preferences, significant locations.
So he then claimed to have been in Arizona alongside his brother, Nayte, and he went so far as to share a screenshot of his location. And it turns out he wasn't lying. The girl from TikTok told us in a statement that she had been catfished. She said, there's someone impersonating Clayton in New York City, and it's really freaky that I was put into that situation. He's taking advantage of girls by pretending to be him. The resemblance is scary, and he's memorized his entire life. I'm hoping to advertise what we now know is the truth as much as possible. I'm hoping people can help track this person's identity, and most of all, get the word out about this messed up person. So crazy.
Oh my God. Okay. So first of all, I feel bad for Clayton and Susie. They had a rough run, obviously, overall in this whole journey. It's been a month since everything finally calmed down. They're happy. They're about to start their cross-country road trip from Arizona to Virginia Beach for them to live together. And days before all that, this pops up. Props to the way they handled it. Susie made some TikToks also showing her proof, while also kind of poking fun at the situation. Clayton, took to Instagram right away to deny it. His friends in Bachelor Nation had his back. But what's sadder? Pretending to be Clayton Echard to get laid at a bar, or falling for someone pretending to be Clayton Echard? What is happening?
I think falling for somebody, you were so convinced that you hooked up with this guy that you thought was Clayton. Next morning, woke up, found out wasn't true.
Also, how sad, no offense to this girl, but to make your instinct be to go on TikTok, that is not cool. She claimed she DM'd Susie first, I think she told us, and then I don't think Susie believed her. So she took it to TikTok, which is just if you're doing your thing, girl to girl, you want to give Susie a warning, fine. But also she claims she didn't watch The Bachelor and she's not familiar, but then why would this guy knowing Clayton's birthday, like, impress you? Right. And why would you, like, what questions were you asking him? And also, did this guy walk up to you and like, hey, I'm Clayton, I was The Bachelor? Or were your friends like, oh, that guy kind of looks like Clayton? Like, I don't ever want to hear from this girl again, but I also kind of need to know more about like how this happened and who this person is and what this Clayton doppelganger is thinking right now. Because like, were they just drunk and went along with it? Or did they initiate this situation? Like, is this their play? Or did this girl like and her friends start it? I mean, poor Clayton, he was in Arizona and like was looking up the flight map and was like, even if I got on a private jet at this time, I wouldn't be there. It's like, dude, we believe you.
We get it. We believe you. We totally understand, but you're so right. Like, what were the steps that led up to this? And was she just like, I could hook up with Clayton and maybe become famous from this? Right. Like, you don't know like what their thought process is. I need a photo of this guy to see how much he really does look like Clayton.
So there's security cam footage that has leaked onto Reddit. Okay. Because she referenced the security cam footage in her 3-minute long apology that, of course, she had to release. And she talked about how she contacted Reality Steve, or Reality Steve contacted her so they could like look at the images. Like, what are we doing? Like, where they're like detectives. And the picture arrived on Bachelorette as everything does. And it's only the back of the head and it's kind of blurry, but it looks nothing like Clayton. As she said, he doesn't have the same build, which like, Clayton's a pretty looking dude and his build is pretty whatever. And then Susie, it was so funny because in her video, there was like a picture of someone holding a phone that this girl sent to Susie for some reason, I guess to prove it was him. And she was like, that's not his phone case and that's not his crusty thumbs. And I'm just like Clayton doesn't have crusty thumbs like this man. I'm like, what? Like, this is literally the most ridiculous thing ever. But it was, oh my God, I feel bad for them, but it was wildly entertaining. And thank God everyone like believed them, like Susie and Clayton. Like, I feel like this girl pretty quickly, people were like questioning this story and he was very clearly in Arizona in a different time zone and not at this New York City bar.
Right. No, definitely not at the New York City bar. He had just come back from the gym, I think, when all this happened. So he like had proof, he had receipts, and everybody believes that this was not Clayton, but definitely gave us some entertainment over the weekend.
Yeah. And Susie was like in her video, she was like, I guess my life, God damn it, is, Friday night gym sessions. Like she had such a good sense of humor about it. And I really think if we've learned anything in the last month of watching Susie and Clayton, they are very normal and like goofy and very similar in ways we didn't see on the show. So power to them. And hopefully this will show people not to mess with Susie and Clayton because they're clearly a united force and they're not afraid to like
totally. And I did like what she said in one of the comments. She was like, I know that he didn't do this. This guy loves the SHIT out of me. Like they are confident and cool in that relationship. So good for them.
Yeah, totally.
Love it.
Well, in other Bachelor Nation news, a little less messy, pretty strictly happy, Tia Booth, who you guys might remember from Ari Leindeck's season, and of course her saga with Colton Underwood, is engaged to her boyfriend, Taylor Mock. They got engaged at the Atlanta stop at Bachelor Live on Stage. Take a look. This proposal comes nearly 6 months after Tia debuted their relationship on Instagram. In October, she wrote, quote, "Not gonna lie, it's been nice keeping this to myself, but it's about time y'all know too."
Yeah. And like you said, she was on Ari's season, was involved with Colton. What do you think about this proposal? Would you be mad if somebody proposed to you on stage at Bachelor in Paradise or Bachelor Live?
Yes, because I attended Bachelor Live actually last week in New York City at the Beacon Theater. I talked about it on the Here for the Right Reasons podcast, if you want a full review. It's a very, very strange experience.
Is it?
And I don't want to be like a complete hater because if you go with your friends and you have a little wine, like it can be fun, but like, and I got a press ticket, like full disclosure, I didn't like pay to go to this. And if you really like The Bachelor and you like love Becca Kufrin, you get a lot of her. Our Bachelor was Justin. Mm-hmm. But like, it's like at a theater and it's not really a show. And it's like the Bachelorettes who they pull on stage are definitely having fun because they're like very involved, but they barely talk to like the Bachelor. They mostly talk to Becca, and like Sydney from Ben Higgins season is like a dancer. So there's like two dancers like backing up. At one point they broke out into like Summer Lovin' from Greece and they like reenacted Titanic.
A lot going on.
It is so weird. And the whole thing is like, why are we here? Like their Bachelor's not going to date these people, and which is good because you don't want to be like creepy and weird, but like also that's the point of the show. So like what are we here for is what I was getting at. So after I found out that Tia got engaged there, I was like, oh no. Like, I don't think I'd want a public proposal anyway, let alone at this like weird, cheesy thing. I don't know.
I don't know either. No, please let us know in the comments. Would you be happy with the proposal at the Bachelor Live show? I'd have
also like the Bachelor's kind of her I know she's on like clickbait and stuff, and
right.
I'm sure it's fun for the alums to go there too because people like swarm them. And again, if you love the Bachelor and you want to, whatever city you're in, the Bachelor people who live there, I can pretty much guarantee you will be there. So if there's someone you want to meet, go to Bachelor Live and I'm sure you'll see them. But if I was Tia, like, I don't think I'd want my proposal with my non-Bachelor boyfriend to also be related back to Bachelor.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. But
happy for her.
Happy for her. Definitely happy for her. She's been through a lot on the show, through multiple seasons of Paradise, Colton, Ari. So good for her that she's having her happy ending. Maybe they'll get married on Bachelor Live stage. Who knows?
Oh, Lord. Anyway, Bachelor in Paradise is officially coming back. All of our fears are over after all that speculation. ABC announced that the dating show will return for its 8th season. And while a premiere date, host, and cast have yet to be revealed, we caught up with Joe and Serena to give us their predictions. Here's what they had to say.
Oh, I think you're going to see a lot of the guys from Michelle's season. I'm sure you're going to see the likes of like an Andrew. And then you'll get most of the girls from Clayton season, yeah.
Oh, Joe, a man of very few words.
I know, as always, he's a tough interview. He's a nice guy, but he can be a tough interview.
Definitely, but I do agree. I mean, it's pretty much, we know what we're going to get. We're going to get some of the guys from, Katie's season, Michelle's season.
Clayton's girls. And I mean, who knows? I mean, we don't know when it's premiering, so we could get some of Gabby and Rachel's guys too. I have no idea. Yeah, I think that's interesting because that's a lot of guys to pull from because there has been more Bachelorette seasons. I would like to see some of Peter's girls who skipped it the first time around that we haven't seen in a minute. Any of them who are still single, maybe make a return because you get a little older. You have some experience in Bachelor Nation that we don't know about. There's tea that we don't know. I would like to see, those girls were wild television, as was Peter. So maybe get Peter and some of his exes on the beach. I was going to say, I think Peter might, since Becca had success, as a former Bachelorette, I think Peter might be the next lead to head down to Paradise, which I wouldn't be bad at either. Me either. We got to bring it on. Well, one person who might actually be back at the beach is Marissa Gunn, who she got very candid about getting back on the dating scene after she split from Riley Christian. She told Bachelor Nation, I want Bachelor Nation to know that I'm still looking for love. Love is the most important thing to me. I want a husband. Seriously, it sucks. She noted that it takes two to make a relationship work, saying it really sucks coming out of an experience where you think everyone is looking for that, especially when you think you found it, like a ring on your finger and everything. So earlier this year, the two called off their engagement. She removed all traces from him from their social media, and the pair confirmed that they pulled the plug on their romance, which was really surprising because they were like one of our favorite couples coming out of Paradise. So I don't know. We still don't know exactly what happened between the two of them. No, we don't. And I've tried very hard to figure it out. She's reposted a lot of her friends' like cryptic quotes about people like looking for sympathy and how dangerous that can be and misleading people. And I've asked around, and the general consensus is it's Marissa's story to tell, and she'll tell it when she wants to, and kind of implying, some not so great things that might have happened between the two of them. So I can't speculate because I don't know. But I mean, Riley definitely was posting, thank you for the support. This has been so difficult. And Marissa until now has been pretty quiet with besides retweet reactions to slamming his statement, kind of implying this was his fault. I don't know if there was, I don't know what happened between the two of them, but it feels kind of messy. And I'm curious to see if she will, share her story at some point, because this was just an interesting quote that clearly she's not happy being single. But
no, and it seems like if you read between the lines or read between what she said, it seems like maybe she wanted to take the next step. He didn't, since I don't know, but
maybe it was like an unhealthy romance there.
Messy.
Yeah.
Well,
maybe Marissa would be interesting one to have back. I feel like she did excel in the Paradise environment. So I wouldn't be mad about that. Any of the people from last season who are still single, that was a very entertaining season. So
it was fantastic.
Bring them back. But let's get into more of our interviews of the week. I recently sat down with Hannah Brown, former Bachelorette, who talked all about those Susie comparisons and her advice for contestants going in to the fifth.
Everyone was comparing you to Susie. What did you think of those comparisons?
There were, moments I was like, oh, wow, she looks a lot like me. So Adam and I definitely saw it, and I think she's beautiful. So it was a compliment for sure. But she's probably one of the people that I feel like has looked the most like me that people have compared me to from the show. So
yeah, I think it's a compliment for sure. And her and Clayton are still together. They were able to get back together after that whirlwind craziness of the show. I mean, were you surprised by how that whole thing played out?
Oh, I was definitely shocked. I did not see any of that coming. But look, everybody wants the people on the show to be happy. And were there some unfortunate moments? Absolutely. And do I feel like, things could have been handled better? Yeah, of course. But I think with so many people having different opinions, nobody really knows what happened and why things were handled the way they were. And so I just really try to give people grace on that show, because I know that it needs to be given, and there's a lot of opinions going around. And it seems like, Clayton and Susie are really happy. And also like Rachel and Gabby I thought like they were all so amazing. And so I'm really excited for them. And I hope that they, have a great experience.
I mean, talking about Clayton's season just made me, and obviously the fantasy suite was such a big thing. And for your season, it was a big thing. It always is. Is there any way to go about that without it turning into something for people on that show? Like, what advice would you give to a Bachelorette of how to navigate the fantasy suite specifically? Just because I feel like more and more that part of the show has become less private and more headliney, and just so much talk around it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like, I really don't know what to say.
Yeah, that's fair too.
Because it's like, you have to just, I think you just got to follow and trust yourself and make those decisions, and, be able to own whatever you do and know that you're probably going to make some mistakes. Like, I think that's also the thing, the viewer is watching a human having these human interactions, which means that they're not going to do everything perfect. They're going to make mistakes. And in a very unnatural situation, which is what makes it, I think, so entertaining, and why you see people do these things that seem like so extreme, because it is a pressure cooker of a human experience. And so I think to just be able to stand by the decisions that you're making, know that they are your own, and really just follow your gut and then your intuition of what's the best.
Oh, Hannah knows the thing or two about the fantasy suite.
I know, I couldn't help it. As I was talking to her, which you can hear the whole interview on the podcast, I was like, you know what? Fantasy suite, because she said she watched Clayton's season, and that surprised me too. And I was like, a lot of fantasy suite talking. You kind of know a thing or two about that, girl.
Definitely knows the thing or two about that. She kind of got us talking about the fantasy suites pretty much, and kind of let the cat out of the bag about what really goes down sometimes.
We never went back after the windmill was exposed. We've never pretended the fantasy suite wasn't what it was anymore. And exactly. I don't know if that's good or bad.
I don't know either. Well, it makes for good television. Maybe not for healthy relationships, but for good television.
Totally.
We also got up with Michelle and Nayte, who gave us an update on their wedding and moving plans to Minnesota.
I mean, Nayte and I we know so many different people, and we have such big families, and that's a huge part of it. And so coming out of a pandemic, we're like not sure if we're fully out of it, but one thing that we both can't imagine is having a small wedding. And so we want to make sure that we're completely clear of that, so that's not even a stressor for us. And then warm weather.
I mean, we're still long distance, so technically no. I mean, it's technically no. But I mean, when we are together, it's, we just spend time together like nonstop. So it's nice. It's nice.
If we're not hanging out, we're like texting, FaceTiming. We do a lot of movie nights like over FaceTime or Zoom. So we've been making it work. But he's been in Minnesota for a little bit now, so it's been nice.
Yeah, I'm gonna be in Minnesota for pretty much the whole month of April.
Nayte loves doing laundry. Like he legitimately loves doing laundry, and he thinks it's therapeutic. And I cannot tell you how attractive that is, because I hate doing laundry.
Every Sunday I see laundry day.
He wants to do my laundry.
Yeah.
So yeah, it seems like these two are kind of taking things slow, which, good for them. But I think we said last week, not putting that $250,000 deposit to good use.
No, they're so cute though. I really feel like Bachelor Nation loves Michelle and Nayte. And I remember when I interviewed them, I've said this before, I just felt it. I felt like he kind of got a bad edit and there was something real there. But I also thought that they were going to move quickly based on everything they were saying. So I'm curious. I assume it must, the rush of the show kind of settles down and you look at your real life. But I'm kind of surprised that they haven't moved forward with either more specific moving or wedding plans just because I thought they would.
I agree. He said that he's going to be spending the bulk of April in Minnesota. So maybe that'll give him some time to take a look. But, there is really no rush. They really only knew each other for 3 weeks. So
I know. I just miss the old days of when they actually would get married within a year. Right. I feel like that was so interesting. They either broke up in 2 months or got married 9 months later. And I don't know if that was part of ABC, dishing out the televised wedding and being people won't care after 12 months. So you got to commit. But I feel like that used to be the thing. And now they have longer engagements, which people are going to say work out better because divorce, isn't great. But I don't know. I kind of like when they go down the aisle.
I do too. We haven't had a televised wedding in a really long time.
Really long time.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's check in to Bachelor Nation and see who got our attention on social media. Mine went to Kendall Long because she revealed that she is in a new relationship. She said, by the way, I'm in love. And just like our relationship, these pictures get progressively weirder. So it seems like she has officially moved on from Joe. This is her first public relationship since she split with him. And it seems like she's really happy. So good for her.
I love Kendall. This made me so happy to see. I feel like she got the short end of the stick with a lot of that Paradise stuff. And so did Joe and Serena. And I know when we covered it, we applauded them for handling it. And I just feel like, I don't know, I think there was stuff we didn't know behind the scenes or something with Kendall. It didn't make sense. And it's not in her character to want to ruin the proposal day. I don't know. I really feel like she's a good person. So, and she's definitely quirky. And this guy seems quirky. So I'm really happy for them. And I hope it works out.
Me too. Who caught your attention this week?
We're going to come full circle with Clayton's post, his first post scandal. Him and Susie have reunited in Scottsdale, Arizona. She is now in Arizona, everyone. So if you see someone walking around in Virginia, it's not Susie. Okay, that's Brown, but it's not Susie. A lot of doppelgangers right now. They are about to take part on their cross-country road trip, which I'm so excited for them. And what I loved about this was she's with his brother and they're together after the scandal. And the caption was kind of poking fun at everything because he said, the three amigos, Krusty Clay, Slimy Sue, and Nasty Nayte finally united. So Krusty Clay obviously joking about her calling the guys thumb crusty that was accused of being Clayton. It's just nice to see again these two together and joking about it. And I'm excited for the road trip content. I feel like that's fun.
Totally. I'm all about them now. I was a little, coming off the show. We're I don't know about this, but I'm fully on board with Clayton and Susie.
This is a deep cut, but if anyone watched Sean Lowe and Catherine's wedding special, they did a road trip where she lived in Seattle and he lives in Texas. And for the wedding special, they did a road trip from Seattle to Texas, and they showed some of it on the wedding special to be what they've been up to. And they kind of said, at least at the time, that they got to know each other so well on that road trip compared to the whole Bachelor experience. And it strengthened their relationship so much. So I hope the same thing happens for Clayton and Susie, even though there won't be ABC cameras there.
Right. I feel like maybe this can make or break the relationship.
Yeah, for sure.
We'll have to wait and see. Sarah, who's on the podcast this week?
JP Rosenbaum,
Nice.
obviously he married Ashley from The Bachelorette, and they announced their separation 2 years ago. They're divorced. They have 2 kids. And JP was super candid about the split and co-parenting and Ashley's new boyfriend, which there's exclusive photos of him on usmagazine.com if you're interested. But yeah, it was a super fun interview with JP.
Definitely good get and a great listen. So make sure everybody head on over to Here for the Right Reasons podcast. Keep commenting, keep subscribing, and we will see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.